Okay, yeah, I can see it's recording, so I shall begin. So welcome. My name is Lynn, and this is a half-hour breathwork session. So today I'm just going to talk about what is breathwork, and we're going to try a couple of different breathing techniques. So breathwork really is just controlling the breath in a sort of conscious, systematic way. And today we're going to have a look at two different techniques, and these are really just for health and well-being. So first thing I wanted to mention really is I'm not medically trained, as maybe some of you are. So these techniques are not intended for sort of curing any health conditions, but they're really for helping people to cope with maybe stress. It's a way of prolonging a natural breathing or natural breath, but also, you know, maintaining that healthy breathing rhythm that can, of course, then help with relaxation, and you know, obviously this can lead to, of course, benefiting people who may have kind of stress-induced health problems, of course, but it's not intended as a cure. So we're going to begin by talking about how to breathe properly. And it might seem like a strange thing to start with, because obviously we all breathe and we all think we're doing it properly, but I think a lot of us get into some habitual patterns that are not so good for us, and what we're going to do is sort of look at some of those poor rhythms that we may have adapted. So some of the most common issues are mouth breathing, and that's been sort of, there's been lots of scientific evidence to say that, you know, breathing through your mouth for long periods of time is not good. What happens is it reduces the oxygen levels in the body, but also the, you know that when you go to sleep and you breathe through your mouth all night, if you've got a blocked nose, then obviously your mouth is very dry, and so it can obviously reduce water in the body as well. It increases snoring and has some shown to, you know, have problems with sleep apnea as well. So I think that's one of the main things. We will be breathing in and out through the nose. Other problems are things like shallow breathing, you know, sort of chest breathing and breathing very fast. And these also show how they slow the circulation of oxygen to the brain. So in addition, you know, sort of ragged breath, or even breath holding, that's another thing we do. Often when we're quite stressed, we sort of hold the breath. So these can be patterns that we've kind of got ourselves caught up in, and what we're looking for is obviously efficient breathing, where it's slow and it's streamlined, smooth, where we're using the diaphragm. You know, we've got a relaxed belly and we're breathing deeply into the lungs, and we're obviously breathing in and out through the nose. So some of these issues come about because of the result of poor posture that can have an effect on your breath, maybe weak respiratory systems, and also stress. So we're going to begin by just taking a bit of an inventory of ourselves. So I don't want you to move at all. I want you to stay exactly where you are. And I just want you to, without judging, just close your eyes for a moment and just take a little inventory. Just observe your breath. So not changing the breath now, we're thinking about it. Just observe your breath. Okay, and then when you're ready, just opening your eyes. We're going to play around with that posture. And so what I want you to do is to, ideally, I was just saying before we started, you know, sitting on a chair is better for this practice today. So if you're sitting on a chair, then just make sure that the spine is stacking and your feet are kind of firmly placed on the floor. You can want the chin to sort of be level or just slightly tucked, the shoulders nice and relaxed. And ideally you want the spine unsupported, so kind of moving away from the back of the chair, so you've got that alertness in the spine. And where you feel the weight coming into the sit bones, just notice whether you're sort of grounding down evenly through the sit bones. And then take the attention to the tummy and just let the tummy be relaxed. This is the main part, I think, that we all struggle with. We're often holding our stomach muscles, and this is why sometimes the breath doesn't go quite so deep. So relax the tummy and make sure your clothing is not restricting you as well. Have the arms just resting in your lap. And in terms of your mouth and your jaw relaxed, and your tongue can be just sort of resting, the tip of the tongue at the back of your teeth there at the front. And just notice how the face is. Relax the face muscles. So that basically now there's just no tension present in the body. I want you to close the eyes and just observe this posture. So just check in with this posture. Checking in again with that tummy. Relax the tummy. Now bring that awareness again back to the breath. Just noticing how the breath feels now in this posture. And just allowing the relaxation to flow through your body. Allow everything to slow down. The breath, your thoughts. Just be still. Be here and now. As you come into this relaxed state, then just really start to observe the finer details of your breath. How is the breath? Is it forced or natural? Relaxed? Labored? Smooth? Deep? And where can you feel the movement of breath happening in the body? Notice the pace of your breath. A natural rhythm. Notice the temperature of the air that you're breathing, that you're exhaling. The quality of that air. And maybe is one nostril more dominant than the other? Can you sense those tiny pauses between the inhale and the exhale? So in a moment, we're going to start counting in and out for 6 with our breaths. So what I'll do is I'll count you in. And when you're ready, just falling into that rhythm, 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. And after a while, I'll stop with the counting and you can just continue with that same rhythm of breath. So when you're ready, counting in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, out, in, out. Continuing your own counting. Mind gets drawn away, distracted, just coming back to the counting when you remember. Just gently letting go, counting. Just allow the mind to relax or think about whatever it wants to. Just let it be free for a moment. And just bring the awareness back to that posture. Feeling the weight of the body pressing evenly down into your seat. Feeling the weight of the arms resting in the lap. Sensing the feet on the floor. Aware of yourself on your seat in this space. And then when you're ready, open the eyes. Just take a moment to think about what you discovered in your breath. Maybe you found quite easy to find that rhythm, that it was a very comfortable rhythm. Maybe it was quite slow for you. So just, no judgment, just sort of taking note of the breath and how that was for you. Maybe you found that one side one nostril was more dominant to the other side. And if you discovered that your left nostril is the more dominant one, this is actually linked to the right side of the brain, and activity in the right side of the brain is related to sort of tranquility and sort of all the feminine characteristics. Whereas if your right nostril was more dominant, this is associated with the left side of the brain, which is the more masculine characteristics, more sort of fierce characteristics. So this particular technique is a very easy one. That's why we started with this one. It's called, well, there's lots of different names for this one actually, to be fair. It's called equal breath or harmonizing breath. We might also see it called coherent breath or resonant breath. So there's lots of names for this one, but it's the same pattern, that 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. And it's been shown scientifically that this is the most efficient breath. And if you have you know, an iPhone and that sort of, or that watch with the breathing app, that's that same rhythm. And if you want to find a timer, there's plenty of apps like Insight Timer, and they all use that same rhythm as well. So it's just a nice, easy breath, and you can kind of focus on your breath, use it as a form of meditation, and also, you know, help to improve your breathing. Obviously, the more you practice it, the more natural this way of breathing becomes. So I'm going to move on to talk about how, you know, breath and emotions work together. They, you know, it's no surprise really that our emotions affect our breath. We all know that when we feel angry or we feel anxious or scared, then that could affect our breath. Our breath can become quicker, it becomes sort of shallower and more ragged. And so we can see easily how moods affect the breath, but it's also the other way around. So our breath can affect our mood. So if we can engage in this slower diaphragmatic breath, then it can help to, it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. So it helps to give us that state of relaxation and bring a sense of calm. So we're going to try another technique as well, which is called breathing coordination. And this one is slightly different. It's meant to sort of strengthen the respiratory muscles and increase the respiratory efficiency. And I believe athletes do sometimes use this one as well as a technique to help improve their performance. It's quite simple, and it can make you feel sort of quite enriched. So the idea is just to keep the breath nice and soft and enriching, not forced, and the body very relaxed. So we're going to come back to that nice posture. So again, just settling in back into the posture. Again, just closing the eyes, because it's always easier to bring everything more internal if you close the eyes or soften the gaze at least. So just observe the posture. Just observe the relaxed breath. Settling once more into that slow, deep, relaxing breath with a relaxed tummy. Just as you're relaxing, I'll just talk you through the technique. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a full deep breath in. And slowly on the exhale, we're just going to be counting softly. So we're going to count to 10 over and over until that natural conclusion of the exhale, until the lungs are completely empty and we feel the urge to breathe in again. And then we'll take in another large, soft, deep breath, and we will repeat. So we're just going to be counting, and what I want you to do is just to count just audibly, so just lightly, softly. And then as you sort of get through that first 10, just make it a little quieter to become a whisper till it just fades away and just the lips are moving. So we'll do the first couple together, and then I'm going to let you just continue at your own pace. So when you're ready, take a nice deep breath in. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5, 6, 7. And when you need to breathe in, nice deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Just keep going now at your own pace, just counting until you really need to then breathe in. Just making this one your last round. And then just let the breath come back to a comfortable rhythm. Once more, just bringing the awareness back into the posture, back into the feeling of sitting here, becoming aware of your limbs, of the weight of the body, the feeling of space around you. And when you're ready, just blinking the eyes open, adjusting back to the room, maybe having a little move around in your seat. Lovely. So today we've just done a couple of different breathwork techniques, just nice simple ones obviously to begin with, but both of these are all about sort of increasing the oxygen and finding a nice comfortable rhythm with the breath, and it's all about finding balance within the body. So the breath can help us to bring everything into balance, so everything becomes sort of a calming and everything's working at peak efficiency. The lungs, the heart, circulation, everything is working as it should. All of the cells are being oxygenated as they should. So that's really, the whole point of breath work. So hopefully you enjoyed the session and found it nice and calming yourself. And it's not next week, sorry, the 26th, I'll be back again for sort of part 2 of this breathwork workshop, and we're going to explore a couple of other different breathing techniques as well. And these ones are going to be a little bit more focused towards techniques for anxiety and for helping you sleep better. So I've left a couple of minutes here at the end, so if anybody's got any questions or maybe they want to give some feedback on how they found either of the